This doesn't fly on YouTube, Instagram, or Facebook. It doesn't fly. It only flies on TikTok.
The best performing content is built with intention. It doesn't happen by accident. There's always a reason why it works. Sometimes it's a hook, sometimes it's a structure, and sometimes it's simply just the editing. So in this series, myself, Ricky, and my good friend Rod will be breaking down some of the most successful short form content on YouTube, Instagram, and TikTok. And in today's video, we're going to be unpacking 4 really different styles of content. First, a podcast clip on TikTok that demonstrates the power of a contrarian hook. Next is an extremely unique editing style for a video on marketing advice. Then, for some reason, I get unreasonably upset about the way an Alex Hormozi video has been cut. And finally, Rod and I have a disagreement on a very popular video format on TikTok. All right, everyone's trying to make podcast clips, Rod. And I found a really good one from Mark Burris with Joseph Suaalii, a famous rugby player. I want you to figure out what specifically about this video that I really liked and why you think it did better than some of his other videos.
So you're a drinker?
Nah, I don't drink.
You don't drink?
No, I've actually never had a sip of alcohol.
At all?
Ever.
Really?
Yeah, no, never.
You're not interested, or?
My parents never drank. And I've never seen them drink growing up, and I've always had fun without it, kind of thing. Like, I'll go out, I'll go out still, and I'll always, I feel like another person that helped me a lot was Joey Manu. Like he doesn't drink. He's very comfortable in his own skin. And then once I first come in NRL and I saw him doing that too, and I was like, oh, I'm gonna do it.
That's my bro.
Yeah, that's my bro. I'm gonna do what he's gonna do. So
Straight away, we're hit with a really fantastic textual hook. Never had a sip of alcohol. Very, very rare, especially in a country like Australia. There's someone that's not had a sip of alcohol, at least tried it. So this automatically goes, I want to know why. Is it a religious thing? Is it a personal thing? Is it a health thing? But you want to know why, right? So automatically fantastic textual hook.
Spot on. I think because this is not specifically an educational piece of content where there is a benefit that is led at the beginning, it's really important that Mark Burris here and his team, they open up a curiosity loop for the audience immediately, right? Now, obviously, Mark Burris is pretty well known in Australia, successful businessman. By having him on camera, obviously that's going to help. But I don't think this video would have done that well if it didn't have this genius that never had a sip of alcohol for all the reasons that you just said. I think if it led with, are you a drinker? I don't think it would hit as hard. So basically what I'm trying to say is that sometimes your textual hook needs to be a statement, a shocking statement that is somewhat contrarian to popular belief. This is what we call a contrarian hook. So if you can think of something like that to start the video, I don't actually think the rest of the video is that good, to be honest, but I just wanted to highlight the beginning of this video and how important it is, particularly in an era where social media short form content is just saturated with podcast clips. You need to be competitive. You need to get an edge. And I think this is how Mark Burris does it in this video. I'm going to say this is probably a marketing video you guys have never seen. And I wanted Rod to give us a little breakdown of what's going on here and why does it work. So let's take a look at this video.
This is why you don't understand marketing. It is not about your business. It is not about your product and not about your solution. You are completely irrelevant to the market. You are only relevant if you are able to make your audience understand that you are helping them to get somewhere. Marketing is showing people how you help them win. Make people see and feel that, and you will start mattering. And
so a really interesting thing that stood out to me straight away is he's using like that loop technique where at the end he ends with and it feels like it's an abrupt ending, but it's actually looping back to the start of the video and it replays. I think that stood out to me.
Why is that important?
Straight away.
Why is that important for people to have a cyclical ending like that?
The replays so they can watch it again.
The reason why the looping ending is really good from a technical perspective, when the algorithm sees someone replays a video, because it's very likely you're going to think that the video is continuing on and you've probably forgotten what the opening looked like. I don't think it's adding value to the audience, but it's a bit of a hack to the algorithm. When you have that looping ending and someone doesn't realize that they've rewatched the video for another 3 to 4 seconds, the algorithm is going to look at that data and go, wow, this video must be really good for someone to rewatch the video again. That's the reason why looping works, apart from the fact that it just feels satisfying that the video ends and starts again seamlessly. What did you think about the graphics, the animation specifically? Like, why do you think this video does well? And my second question is, do you think it builds the same level of trust as someone with a face on the camera talking about marketing?
Firstly, it's quite quick, and that works because he has to be simple. The concepts that he talks about are very simple. He doesn't go into depth with marketing techniques or a big block of educational content. He goes into a very simple concept everyone can understand.
The only thing that I'm concerned about is I wonder what level of trust he actually builds with the audience. Like what percentage of the audience are watching it because it has a very aesthetic visual going on versus how many people are actually here to listen to his marketing advice, right? Because I mean, I don't know what his content objectives are. Something that we talk about a lot is that going viral isn't always a good conversion tool. It's great for reach and getting exposure, and perhaps that's the top part of your funnel, and then you funnel them into more, say, evergreen content, which actually provides value a bit more useful to the audience. It'll be interesting to see the conversion rates. I mean, I think the videos are really cool. They're nice. They're well made. I've got nothing against the content, but from a trust building, trying to sell your marketing expertise, it'd be interesting to see how someone like this performs versus someone with their face on camera.
So Ricky, in this video, there's something really simple that makes it very, very powerful. Let's see if you can spot it.
So there's this quote by Marcus Aurelius that, what are you so afraid of losing when nothing in this world belongs to you? And I read that and I was like, fuck, that's good.
Okay, so this part is a little bit like they've just made it a re-edit sort of thing. It's not from Rosie.
We normally talk about education and entertainment, but clearly this is a third category, which is inspiration, which I actually think we don't give enough love to on our channel. We don't talk about inspirational content enough because I actually think that is a category that is worth talking about. So obviously this falls into that category. I think this video is really good. Once again, I'm being a hater. I know this video has fucking millions of views, but the editor inside of me just really hates what he's done in this 3 seconds, and I'll see if you guys can spot it with me.
So there's this quote by Marcus Aurelius that, what are you so afraid of?
Why are we cutting? Why are we cutting 3 times before he gives us the powerful moment? Just let it be. I don't know why I'm getting so upset at this. Cinematic opening, right? So, and the text, the font, I love it. Everything so far is really good, right? And I'm like, yeah, this is going to be a fucking sick video. Do you think it's that important, Rod, or am I just hating?
Look, I think you got to look at the positives in this one. Because you have a high level of editing, you notice that. But for me, I didn't notice that.
Yeah, okay.
The thing that I noticed the most was that drop.
Yeah.
That crescendo point almost, which makes his point even more powerful. What we get out of this video is the use of sound design, especially when making an important point, whether it's inspirational or whether it's academic or whatever, is so important. It adds so much to it.
For what it's worth, the video achieved its objective, right? It's clearly inspirational video. When I watched it, I felt something. You know, the music, I genuinely felt something. My only thing is, I guess maybe this is because I'm an editor, and when I'm so nitpicky with so many little things. And for me, when you're doing inspirational content, particularly when you're giving me the cinematic opening, I'm judging. I am judging. Talked about this in one of our recent videos, is that people just seem to want to cut way too often. It's okay to just have a bit of silence. It's okay to just have someone pondering. It's powerful, you know? Don't ruin that moment. Overall, I'm being a hater. This video is really good, inspirational. This is a great way of repurposing someone else's content to still provide value to the viewer. And yeah, I really like, I'm going to talk about a positive. I really like the way they fade in here. And we continue to have this. I really like the subtitles here, by the way. The font is great. And then obviously the color grading. It's a good video. I'm just hating. All right, Rod, I've got an interesting video, which I think might be a little bit controversial. I think it does some things well. I think it does some things bad. Can you tell me if this is a good video? Because I actually don't know.
A faceless YouTube channel that is literally printing money, okay? Their first video was 2 months ago. That's it. They have 61 videos since then, 429,000 subscribers in just 2 months. Let's look at some of their stats. So just for the last 28 days alone, they've had about, close to 9 million views. And look at that. Estimated revenue for the last 28 days alone, anywhere from $23,000 to $64,000 in the last month alone. Now, The estimated revenue can be spotty, right? I have 13 monetized channels, and I would say view stats is about 70% accurate. But as you can see, it does not take much but consistency, right? 2 months, and they already have a super successful faceless YouTube channel.
Are you a fan of using the camera to film another screen, or yeah, how do you feel about this?
Okay, so I just really don't understand this whole thing where people film a laptop or film something and it's like a POV style. I get the whole POV style aspect of it, but it's shaky. It's, you know, the framing is off. Like, stuff is getting cut out. I personally just hate this style. I don't know what the obsession is with it.
Quite big
Just,
on TikTok.
If you're gonna do, it's really big. It's really big, and I think is it the fact that, okay, I understand that it's POV. That's good. That's an important relatability tool. The aspect that pisses me off is that it's so shaky and usually quite shit in quality. So like you see like the laptop, you see the sides cut off. Like it just kind of distracts me. It's a distracting element of it, and maybe it's because I'm a little bit, you know, on my high horse because we work in content. But yeah, it kind of just distracts me, honestly.
Okay, so my counter to that is, yes, obviously shaky, looks unprofessional, blah blah blah, but he's making a pretty big claim here. This faceless YouTube channel is printing. For this textual hook to really work, this needs to be relatable, right? We need to feel that this is real and authentic. We've talked about this many times on the channel. On TikTok, real and authentic content does well. That's why we see stuff like this. I watched this guy in rugby league. He literally will film a highlight and just start talking and commenting and stuff like that, and people love it. I actually think that this helps the authenticity of his claim, because it's not this highly polished, highly produced video that's like, hey, sitting in some like really nice studio being like, I make millions of dollars by my course sort of vibe, right? It's literally just like, whip my phone out, I'm on my laptop. I think he said something like, I made 13 faceless channels, blah, blah, blah.
I agree with that point that you just made. And I think that this is a great example of how platform-specific content is different. Because this is a video for TikTok. This doesn't fly on YouTube, Instagram, or Facebook. It doesn't fly. It only flies on TikTok. And there are also bits of content out there as well that may only be specific for Instagram and YouTube and doesn't do as well on TikTok. For example, maybe something that's a bit more over-edited, higher level of production, something like that. Yeah, this is a great example of the whole platform-specific types of content.
100%. If this was put on YouTube, I don't think this video does well at all.
Doesn't fly.
I think it only works on TikTok.
Doesn't fly at all.
And yeah, great learning. I guess the biggest takeaway for us here is that when you make content that is very specific to a platform, you need to adapt that same content and produce it differently for other platforms, because at the end of the day, people have different expectations for different platforms. So yeah, that's a great point. And I guess we still don't know if this is a good or a bad video. Let us know in the comments which of these 4 videos you enjoyed the most. And if you enjoyed our short form content breakdowns, leave a like and subscribe to the channel.